Before I really get into the talk, we're going to do a commercial here really quick. Next week, our guest speaker is the Reverend Robin Volker. She's going to be talking to y'all about hope, maybe a little bit of faith. You do not want to miss it. So, okay, that's our commercial for the morning. All right, it's the big week, folks. The big week. It is Thanksgiving. Are you ready for some seriously good food? Really good food. Yeah, this year it's going to be a little different for our family. A lot of y'all know Richard's had some health challenges and so forth. The good news is he's going to be home for Thanksgiving, right? So we're really happy about that under some different circumstances, but he'll be home. Uh, we're not going to be able to travel like we normally do to Kentucky or even travel locally. So, we'll be home. And, sometimes, you tell people that. I've told a few people that over the last few days, and, they think it's sad. And in a way, it can be, but here's the rest of the story. Not only are we going to be home, our oldest daughter and her wife are bringing us plates from the gathering they're going to. So we will have Thanksgiving dinner. And then later in the day, our second daughter and her wife are bringing us homemade banana bundt cake for dessert. So, yeah, there you go. Dinner at our place. So you think about that, and it gets even better. We don't have to cook. We don't have to clean. We see a little bit of family, and it's free. Yeah, we're calling that a win in our household, amen? Yeah, but and I get it though, because normally for Thanksgiving for a lot of people it's a big family event, right? In my family in Kentucky, the Spears family side, has always been at Aunt Hazel's ever since I can remember. So it's going to be a little bit different for us this year. It's going to seem a little strange because Richard and I both love Aunt Hazel's creamed corn, and she grows her own corn, and she does it with butter and lard and all this stuff. All the stuff you're not supposed to have, she does it. It's great. My Aunt Carletta's chest pie will put you in a diabetic coma. It is just so good. So yeah, we're gonna miss that, but it's all right because we have one another, we have our family, and we got free food. It just does not get better than that. Besides the food, however, Thanksgiving can also remind us of the importance of community, of which family can be a part, but it doesn't have to be. It can be biological family, it can be family of choice, or some kind of combination of both. And that's our topic today, gratitude for community. I'm going to start with a little bit of science about community. Did you know, for example, that according to an article from a group called 6 Seconds, the Emotional Intelligence Network, relationships, in other words, community, are the foundation for a long and a satisfying life. And according to a growing body of research, building community is quite literally a matter of life and death. There are a lot of studies out there. A director of one called the Grant Study, George Valiant, states that relationships, again, community, are the biggest predictor of life success. Another study from Brigham Young University focused on the most effective way to reduce our chances of dying. The result? A sense of community. And strong relationships top the list. Social connection, at least according to this study, is even more important and more predictive of longevity than not smoking or not drinking or what we eat. Isn't that amazing? A sense of community is more important to our long-term health than not smoking and even exercise. So if you don't like to exercise, you can tell your doctor, I'm just trying to live longer, man. According to this study, the more I don't exercise, the longer I can live. My doctor will not let me get away with that. So, community lesson number one is community, and I would add healthy community is good for our physical health. Quite literally, it's a lifesaver. Lesson two, community, and again, healthy community is good for our spiritual health. For example, in Buddhism, Buddhism teaches that finding a community to practice with is important on several levels. We need like minded people to support us when we need support and to challenge us when we get stuck or off track. And just a quick point here, like minded people doesn't mean that we all think alike. Just like unity does not mean uniformity. In Judaism, Rabbi Joel Jacobs teaches that Jewish people often call themselves Am Yisrael, the people of Israel, rather than Dat Israel, which means the religion of Israel. The rabbi goes on to say that community has long been a defining characteristic of the Jewish community. Did you know, for example, that the central experience of the Jewish people and the only story, the only tradition that is required to be repeated every year is the Exodus story, the Exodus from Egypt. And that story is a story about community liberation. It is not about a religious awakening. Catch the difference? It's the community that's important, more important than the religion. In Islam, community is known as ummah. It expresses the essential unity and the theoretical equality of Muslims from diverse geographical, cultural, and ethnic backgrounds. In the Quran, we read, and hold firmly to the rope of Allah, all together, and do not become divided. Hold firmly to the rope of Allah, all together, and do not become divided. And I don't have to tell anyone here how important community is in Christianity, right? Huge, huge. And now when we talk about community in Christianity, what do we often think of first? We think about church, right? We think of a place like this, nice place like this, usually a location, a group of people in a building who are affiliated with one denomination or another within all that big rainbow we call Christian religion. But did you know that the word that is used, the Greek word that is used in the Bible for church, ecclesia, is not about a location. It's not about a building. It's not even about religion. Nope. The meaning of ecclesia is a purposeful, often powerful gathering of people, a purposeful, often powerful community that is united by identity and purpose. Didn't see the word church in there. No, didn't see building in there or location. Nope. So you notice how similar we are to Judaism there? The point is, it's the community, folks. For church, in church world today, the priority at least should be, according to the Bible, the people, the community. All right? And the Bible is full of information about how we should treat one another in community. We lift one another up. We are willing to both give and receive help. In the book of James, it says that we are to correct one another in a spirit of love. Notice the emphasis there. In a spirit of love, because I don't know about you, I can be all about correction. Don and I were talking about this before church. Now, we could talk to other people about their issues and help them all that we want. But when it comes to our own stuff, that's a whole different ballgame now, isn't it? So we call each other on our stuff, again, in a spirit of love. So I want you to say it with me, in a spirit of love. Cannot overemphasize that. Fourth chapter of Ephesians goes even further. It instructs us to be patient with one another. Oh, man. Does that annoy you too? Sometimes, yeah, Lynn. Yeah, sometimes it does. Now, of course, y'all might be thinking, some of you might be thinking, yeah, but that's from the Bible, and that's from way back in the day, and they're talking about particular spiritual communities. Well, yes and no. Why yes and no? Because some of those verses may be talking about spiritual communities in particular or some in general, but I expand this to mean these verses also teach us how to treat one another beyond our spiritual communities, how we are supposed to treat one another as fellow human beings. There are plenty of verses in the Bible, folks, as well as the holy writings of other traditions that instruct us to care for people. And not just our people that look like us or love like us or vote like us, people who don't look like us. Sometimes people who don't share our socioeconomic privilege. In the Old Testament, what does it say? You're to treat the foreigner as one of you. Tough stuff. We are to care for the poor, the widow, and the like. In the 5th chapter of Matthew, our master teacher Jesus goes even further. Jesus said we are to love our enemies. We are to love our enemies. Jesus even went on to say, hey, if you love people, if you just love the people that love you, that is no big deal. What is that? Jesus said it's in the Bible. Anybody can do that. It's easy to love the people who love us. But as people of faith, his point is we are called to a higher standard. The point here, folks, is that real community goes far beyond our smaller, more intimate, personal communities. It does include those communities. And those communities are very, very important. It includes those boundaries. It transcends those boundaries. So all of our communities, which includes our families, are incredibly important. All I'm saying here is community is not limited by those definitions. Here's another lesson about community. Community's messy sometimes, isn't it? Yeah, let's start with a good one, family. Let's take family. Yeah, I can hear some of the wheels. Some of you are laughing. Yeah, I can hear some of the wheels turning already. Yeah, Danny, that's all fine and good. And if you are right, and community does include family, and community is messy, then I suggest you go to the dictionary, look up messy community, and there will be a picture of my family. You can go to the word dysfunctional, and you will see a picture of my family. Our family will put the funk in dysfunctional, especially around the holidays. You know, just mix religion and politics and maybe a little alcohol, and we are off to the races. Heck, some of our families don't even need the alcohol, right? What's that old saying in the South? We don't hide our crazy people and our families. We put them on the front porch and give them a beverage, right? It's fair enough. At the same time, I think it's fair to say that all families have their issues, right? Now, we can make fun and we can kind of pick and say things about our families, but all families have issues, some more than others. And some have some really serious issues going on. And that's unfortunate. But what I'm here to tell you today is that if you ever find yourself in that position in your family, what I want to encourage you to do is love yourself enough to build a new family. It's called a family of choice. So what does that look like? Pretty much the way it sounds. A family of choice is one that you choose. It can be a recovery group if you're in that. It can be your spiritual family like this. If you're in a craft club, a book club, any combination you choose. And you can even include some of your crazy family too if you want. You choose. It's a community that you build, a family or a community that you build that supports you and that you support them, that loves you and that you love them. People that will call you on your stuff. Again, how do we do that? Say it with me. In a spirit of love. They call you on your stuff. You call them on theirs. Okay, so we got family. We got family of choice. What about those enemies? You know, the people that don't like us. And to be honest, people we don't like as well. It goes both ways, right? People who say mean things about us. People who actually say we shouldn't even exist. Ever have anybody say that about you? I have. Yeah. People who may threaten us. The answer is still love. I know. It annoys me too. But remember, love does not mean tolerating abusive behavior in any form. Physical, emotional, verbal, any form. Said it before and I'll say it again. Remember this, you can love people from a distance. And sometimes that is the best and the safest way to love them. And you know what else? Sometimes all love means is resisting the temptation to retaliate and to feed into that negative energy. How do you do that? You stop, you take a breath, you take several breaths, and you recognize that despite anything else, we recognize our common humanity. And if that's the best you can do, I'm here to tell you that's enough. So as we enter the holiday season this week, I understand there is a lot going on in the world. And some of us have a lot going on in our lives. And the holidays, which are meant to be relaxing, enjoyable, and often communal, can sometimes be just the opposite and add a whole new level of stress to our lives. Especially when some of our communities, which includes our family, may not be in such a healthy place. So when that happens, we may be tempted to withdraw from everyone and everything. If that happens to you this season, I have two things for you. One, it's all right if you need to step away for a bit. It's all right. Jesus modeled that behavior for us. In the Bible, it says he went away to pray. I'm sure Jesus had some drama going on with people in his life and his family of choice. He probably had to get away. If Jesus could do it, so can we. Amen? You get away, you pray, and you rest. And while you're doing that, though, please remember the importance of healthy community and connection. It's vital to our physical well-being, our emotional well-being, and our spiritual well-being. And then we do what Jesus did. We go away for a while, and then we re-engage. If you have to do it slowly, do it slowly. But please, please re-engage. This season, I would like us all to enjoy and be grateful for everything. And this week especially, let's be grateful for the gift that is healthy community, whatever form that takes. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. God bless you. And so it is.